Oh, we are so excited to be back on a Monday. 70-degree weather in Philly, and the madness has started. Legal tampering period has happened, and the Eagles ain't done nothing. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
From the city of brotherly love. All day, baby. You know that.
Let's hunt.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground.
Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight.
Get the stuff there. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you're here?
Let the games begin.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Money is nice, championships are better.
Hey, welcome everybody back to the Victory Monday podcast. I am the host. I'm the CEO. They call me Moss Money. Of course, I got my guy with me, Ernie B. Been a while. What's up, brother?
What's going on? What's going on, man?
You look
Happy
young,
holidays.
bro. You look like you been in the gym, boy. I didn't see you in a little bit. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, it's a holiday for me. So today's
Yes,
great.
I know.
Today's great.
Yeah, I know.
I look forward to this day more than most. I will compare this. I'll say this is usually more exciting than day 3 of the draft, which is big for me to say. But this is usually a pretty fun day. So far, pretty quiet, but it's usually a fun day.
Yes. And I know Eagle Nation, Eagle fans out there do not like that. But we'll get into it. We'll do all the spring cleaning as we enjoy this weather. If you're up in the Northeast or even Mid-South, Midwest, Mid-East, I guess. We've got finally some good weather so far this week. So let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about all just the notables, right? We'll do the spring cleaning with the Eagles, but we'll do all the notable free agent acquisitions so far today. We'll talk about maybe any surprises you thought or, any ones that are kind of interesting. So I found this from NFL on Twitter, and these are all the kind of early signings of earlier in the day. There has been some more signings on here. Obviously, the one that hurts maybe a lot of Eagles fans down below was the Panthers kind of stealing away Phillips, and we'll get more into that when we talk about the Birds. A lot of these ones are kind of ones that we kind of expected, I think. A couple of them kind of surprising, but for the most part, I think all good signings by a lot of people. I guess I'll start it off here. I was surprised at how much. No, I wasn't, because that was always a rumor. You know what? I'm not surprised that Malik Willis going to Miami. I just don't like the fit.
Yeah,
I just don't like the fit. And Mike Evans to the Niners was a little bit surprising, I guess. I didn't know the Niners were I didn't know he would go to the Niners.
Yeah, that was a little bit out of left field. I think they're typically they're in for big name players, so he kind of fits that MO for them. Future Hall of Famer for sure. Going to finish his career with San Fran. Hopefully that electrical substation won't be too bad on his hammies. Been nagging him up for the past couple seasons, but I think the one for me, for most guys that follow the contracts and stuff like that, was the Raiders paying Linderbaum what they did. They reset the center market. Took it from $18 million a year at Creed Humphrey to $27 million with Linderbaum. That's a $9 million positional jump, which it's unheard of. We've talked on the show about, we've been talking about Jalen Carter's potential extension for I think 2 years now. Yeah. So when you look at a guy like Linderbaum taking center from 18 to 27, just by being the next guy up, arguably the best in the league, but just the next guy. That's some pretty serious money. sprinkle a little Nakobe Dean over there for them, and the Raiders are off to a good start.
Yeah, the Raiders were spinning. The Raiders
Yeah.
were definitely spinning. They got Kwity Paye, I think, from the Colts. I thought they got a receiver that was kind of underrated. The kid from
Minnesota,
the Vikings.
Jalen Naylor. That was a good sign.
I thought that was an underrated move.
Quay Walker with Nakobe Dean. They played together at Georgia, so that was pretty cool. Traded for Teron Johnson from the Bills. I like what they're doing.
The corner, right? The cornerback. Yeah.
I'm actually a big fan of what they're doing. I think that I think Spytek, Brady, and Kubiak have a good little system they've got going over there. They're talking about
they got some vets who can play.
Yeah, not rushing Mendoza in, but also getting him a premier center, if not the best in football. That's a hell of a start for a rookie quarterback.
For sure, that's huge.
I mean, that's
and then they already got the running back, right? So
exactly.
He's already set.
I think Genty's happy. I think Bowers
and Bowers, right? That's the two key things what any rookie quarterback needs. Well, if you count the center, 3, great center connection, great run. It's not. I don't think it's a great run game, but it will improve because now you got a decent center making all the calls up front, right? Who can help the quarterback? And then you got a tight end. Yeah, and then you got a tight end.
The way that we used Kelsey with Hurts, I think a lot of people thought every quarterback calls the show, but that's not the case when you have an elite center.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of weight off of Mendoza's brain when he does ideally get the start, because they're still talking about, easing him in with a veteran, as they should.
Did they sign one? I don't think so.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They still, they're, Gino's got to figure out where he's going next. I think they're going to formally release him if that hasn't already processed.
I think that's.
He was linked to, the Jets along with Carson Wentz. So, quarterback, I think, we've talked about this. It really is a shallow market, just with these kids coming out with a lack of experience. And teams don't want to throw them to the wolves too early. It's starting to show that is not really the way to do it. Guys are going back to sitting, and I think that the teams that had the most money today, I thought the Titans kind of spent a little freely. I think they just kind of had a lot of money and had to, kind of bring some guys into there. But I think that Vegas so far has won the day for sure. I'm actually pretty surprised how well they've spent their money.
Yeah, I agree. And then talking about tight ends, quarterbacks. I'm sorry. Tua went to Atlanta.
Yeah, that's Atlanta's got a lot of things they need to figure out. They got a first round pick with some off the field issues. So they've got some things going on. Real quick, this actually just came out from Jane Slater. Dean actually was offered a similar deal by the Cowboys, but went with his gut feeling and signed with the Raiders. So
always F them boys.
Nice little tidbit there from Jane Slater. She's ESPN, I think, for the Cowboys. So that's I'm glad to read that, because I sent a message to the group chat this morning. I said the rumors, and
he was on the radar. He was on the radar.
But the Cowboys opted for Thompson from the Cardinals instead of Blankenship. Blankenship ends up with the Texans. Dean ends up out there in Vegas. It's been an interesting day. It's been a very interesting day.
It has been eventful. And then I think just some notable names that don't shake or move the needle, but sticking with the quarterbacks, Minshew went to the Cardinals. Mariota re-signed, and who was here? Petty, what was his name? Pickett went to the
Pickett to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett.
So that was good.
Yeah, and then the ones that we kind of all knew, we knew Alec Pierce was going to get paid, so that it was a lot of money. I still don't believe in that. And then they went and they really made him the number one, right? They went and traded Pittman over to the Steelers.
They had to free so in order to get Pierce's deal through on Wednesday, because officially that's when all the transactions will process. So teams do have a good little 48 hours to move some finances around. In order to be cap compliant, they did have to move off of Pittman's contract. So the Steelers they jumped in at the right moment there. That was good for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and then I was a quiet fan of Isaiah Likely to come here.
Yeah, I think the Giants. I think the Giants have made some good signs. I like Tremaine Edmonds going over there.
The
Titans getting
linebacker.
Wandale Robinson. That was probably one of the worst kept secrets from the combine. That deal's been done for a while.
Yeah.
Chiefs getting Kenneth Walker. That was another one that leaked out. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, that was obvious.
The Rams are basically employing the entire Chiefs secondary right now, but they're going all in. So
yeah, they're going all in. It's got to be Stafford's last year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's my thought.
For sure.
They'll run though. I think they'll run it back. I don't think that. I am a big Stafford fan, but I don't know. I don't know if they can. I just don't know. The defense is sound, but it was interesting that I think there was a rumor they snuck in to see where AJ was about, which was really surprising to me.
Well, so not to correct you there, but they were on his list of preferred teams.
Oh, it was on his list. It wasn't.
Yeah, so we don't technically know whether they inquired or if that was just part of his list of teams.
Okay.
That he would play for.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought they were on his list.
Yeah, so and I think that's just.
I'm sorry. Other way, I thought they reached out. My bad.
I think that's just solid practice by the Eagles, doing right by arguably their best receiver of all time. We're not going to ship you to Cleveland, as bad as the fans want that to happen. I don't think they're going to.
They want it so bad, and he probably go out there and ball too.
Wherever he goes. I mean, we're talking about 1,400 yards. It's coming. So don't.
Oh, for sure. It doesn't matter.
Ready. Yeah, as long as his knees hold up, bro, he's ready to rock.
How about this? Anywhere he goes, he gets 1,400. If he stays, does he get 1,400?
No, he doesn't get 1,400 if he stays. No. Come on, we've. This is this offense needs some TLC, and I just don't. Not to dive too deep into it, but I just think at this point they need to save some face here, and I think the big thing, and that really all that matters here is the dead cap hit that everybody likes to talk about, but it's the $113 million in future cash that Mr. Lurie would save by moving off of Brown now, and that's where when the owner sees something like that, you can save $113 million. I mean, that's quite the number.
Yeah, especially with the players that he needs to re-sign, and we'll get into bird talk now. But we'll start on the free agents. So, like we talked and started the show, Eagles have been super quiet, right? Super quiet, and people are making. I mean, it is a good thing, but it's like I feel like it's overreacting a little bit. Because I do see now a lot of holes, and holes that weren't there now are there. And we can argue what might be the biggest need on the team moving forward, and we'll get to that. But right now, I know you got your ears to the streets in terms of the Eagles news. Any free agent targets that the Eagles are looking at or looking for right now that's at least on their radar that you know of? I haven't seen anything. I've been kind of searching a little bit to see, but I don't got anything on any, on, a lot of fanfare, right? A lot of fanfare about what they want and what we want, but nothing solid information that I have.
Well, I think the first thing that I just need to preface this with is that they're not big fish. They're not big game hunting right now. If they were going to spend money on a player, it would be an internal free agent, somebody like Jaelen Phillips. And what the Eagles do when they get to this part of the offseason and leading up to free agency is they have a walkaway number for each of these players. Once the negotiating period hits the walkaway number, they tell the player it's time for you to just go get your bread, go get your bag wherever you can get it. We appreciate you. This is just part of the business. So let's say Phillips' walkaway number for us was 25. Right? Let's say we offered him a 4 for 100, maybe 75 guaranteed, maybe 60 guaranteed, something around there. Could be less. There's no telling. When the Panthers come in at 30 APY, that puts him among some of the highest paid pass rushers in the NFL. The player's got to do what's best for him.
For sure.
Phillips is coming off a couple major injuries. So the fact that the Panthers were willing to bet on him like that with that kind of guaranteed money, you got to respect it. And, this is a lot like last year. And I think that fans need to come to the understanding that when you draft and you develop and you go to pay these guys, you can't pay everyone. And you can go listen to what Howie Roseman and Sirianni said right before the combine. Howie laid it out for you. I mean, he told you we can't bring everyone back. As much as we would love to sign these guys, this isn't baseball. It just doesn't work like that. So you see these guys walk. People are upset because they love the player. The city is a big fan of the guys. You hate to see Cooper's best friend leave, but Cooper's best friend leaves so that you can keep Quinyon Mitchell in town. Jaelen Phillips leaves so ideally we could pay Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis getting that fat check that he got. Yep. So it's I think this is the embarrassment of riches phase that the Eagles fans typically don't like to admit is real. But that's why the comp pick formula is involved. And as long as they don't go big game swinging, next draft they'll get a 3 from Phillips. And I think that just like they just were awarded a 3 for Milton Williams. So I think it's just all part of the grand scheme of things. It's all part of the big game they play.
Yeah, no, I agree with the Phillips talk, and we'll bring him up in a second. Since we'll mention match those free agent targets.
One name, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you. One name. We'll circle back to this. One thing you want to do is look at guys that the Eagles liked in the draft process. That means you look at some Temple guys, you look at some Penn State guys, you look at a couple, you pick guys that are somewhat in the area that came up, maybe guys that had 30 visits with the team. The one name, especially now that I saw that Reed is signing with the Texans, would be Jaquan Brisker from the Chicago Bears, former Penn State safety.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Came out the league, I believe, as a second-round pick. He's a really good football player, but he had a really bad issue with concussions recently. So I don't know exactly what his status is, but I think that that's a profile of a player that the Eagles could look into. You want to look at draft pedigree. Were they highly drafted? Have they been injured a little bit? How can the Eagles get a bargain by going after somebody and banking on their upside? And I think that, great comment here. I think that there's always a plan in place. They're not letting these guys walk just assuming that something is going to, poof out of thin air. They tend to have a plan for these things. Now, does it always work? No, but, we have the best GM in football for a reason.
Yeah, and speaking of the plan, let's bring it up real quick. This was the one that they tried to get something done, and the Panthers kind of came in and blew probably everybody away, to your point.
This was close, too. This was really close.
4 years, 120 million, 80 million guarantee, but the APV, like you said, average per year, puts him up there with the top tier in 30 million, 30 million per year with the top pass rushers. Is he that? No, he's not. He hasn't had a double-digit sack season yet. Had a couple, I think 9 seasons. But he has all the talent that you need, and he was a direct impact to the Eagles' pass rush and ability of the pass rush. Even though it did not seem that he might be getting the sacks, he had a direct reflection, and his reflection of that was we were one of the worst pass rush teams, and then we were one of the best after Phillips. So
I think a lot of that's to his frame, his size. You know what I mean? Hunt, Smith,
he was the perfect rush edge.
They need the reason why it worked with Sweat is because Sweat opposite Smith is the perfect duo. You got a weak side, you got a strong side.
Yep.
And with Phillips at that 6'6", 250, that Fangio needs one of those. He needs one in the rotation. You need one at the beginning. Ideally, you have 4 pass rushers on this defense. You got 2 big bodies and you got 2 speed rushers. You can't. You need one on the field at each time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Brandon Graham
almost Sam Will. Almost like a Sam Will.
And BG's been our reserve guy, but
I don't count him.
That's the thing. I
don't count BG.
That's not a 20 snaps a game is not what we're talking about here. I mean, we're talking about 40, 45 snaps that need to be replaced.
Yeah.
And I think it just like I said, man, they were close yesterday. Jordan Schultz reported that it was almost done. But Phillips banked on himself. He got to the open market, and when that kind of money's being thrown your way, man, what can you do?
He got paid. No, I was a big Phillips fan. I did like him. I did want him to be re-signed because I think it pushed down Nolan Smith, really, to the back end.
Yes.
And now, unfortunately, they have to count on Nolan.
Yes.
Now they
As
should
of
be able
today.
to count on
As of
Nolan
today.
because as of today, because he's a first round pick. But it's just I don't like that. Um, I just don't like where they are from a pass rush standpoint. So we'll see. It's still very early, right? We're talking about day one of legal tampering. Do we still have to actually fully go through? To your point that you said in the chat, who was it?
Milton Williams last
Yeah,
year.
Melvin Williams last
Yeah.
year had something signed with Carolina, I think,
He
right?
had verbally agreed with the Panthers.
Yeah,
And then New England came off the
yeah,
top rope with an unheard of amount of money. And
he was worth it though, right? He was worth it. He was
made the Super Bowl.
Made the Super Bowl. He was a big part of their defense. I think he was up there in sacks too. So he was
Yeah, I mean Milton's
worth every bit of it.
he's their foundational defensive piece.
He is.
Christian
Yeah.
Gonzalez, Christian Barmore. I mean,
Yep.
he was a staple on that Super Bowl run. I mean,
Absolutely.
nothing but hats off to him. I will say with Phillips, I've been talking about this word that they're going to hear a lot, is the compensatory formula, comp pick formula. And we traded a third-round pick for Phillips at the deadline, and you won't get one this draft, but next draft, if the money works out, he's basically a wash. And Howie did say in his presser, if he could trade third-round picks for playoff wins, even though we didn't get one, he would do it every single time. So, and I think we as fans would too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it sucks to see him leave because I think he was the ideal and premier pass rusher with some upside, legit starter, good against the run as well. But unfortunately, you can't pay him all. And if him leaving means I sign Carter to his extension, then obviously, we're good with that. Everybody knows we weren't paying
That's
him
it.
that type of
You
money.
just wipe your hands and keep it pushing.
Yeah, keep it pushing. All right, let's go and then after the top 3 free agents gone, we're gonna ask a question. Hopefully, some people out there, if you like what we're talking about, hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. Who was the biggest loss out of the 3? Because you definitely just lost 3 starters on defense. All right, but let's go to number 2 here. Kind of already talked about it. The they just had to go bring up the white boys, right? Too many white
Bring up the
guys.
exciting whites, man.
Yeah, exciting whites. Too many white guys together, man. We got to break that shit up, right? But Reed got paid. I was always a fan of Reed. I thought that even though he wasn't the elite athlete that you would like to see back there, he was steady. He was a leader of the defense, and he was a starter, and he was sound. I think he was a little bit underrated, but 3 years, 24.75 million, I think it was the actual number on that. 2 years of it was guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. 16 million, was it? 2 years?
Yeah, something like 16 million guaranteed.
16 million guaranteed. So, obviously helps Houston, right? Gets signed out there. Oh, wasn't Chauncey out there?
Oh, yeah, he was when he was traded. Then he got cut, picked up by the Bears.
Yeah, how about they? I wonder if that's
Eagles DBs.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like a translation, right? Like the way we play defense or something over there with Ryan's is like he likes the way that
I think
our
there's
safeties are.
I think there's a little bit of match carry deliver over there that they like to use. So it's very similar with what we do.
Always injured. You must be talking about Phillips.
Yeah, that was about Phillips.
Yeah.
I think I want to bring a name up here that this is just eerily similar to this feels like TJ Edwards after 2022. He goes to Chicago, signs a deal that we easily could have matched, and this deal just it doesn't. I mean, 3 year, $24 million. I don't understand how that's not in the budget because safety is such a weird position for this team. If we don't value this position, which this move is telling you that, because all we have right now is Andrew Makuba, rookie deal, coming off a broken ankle. Sidney Brown, former third-round pick. He's basically just a special teamer. Vic doesn't trust him on the back end. And then you don't have anything else. So I don't, there's this talk of Michael Carter's a nickel safety hybrid, whatever, that's fine. Last year, right before they traded Gardner Johnson, or right after, they actually were in the running for Justin Reed, who signed with the Saints, who ended up making $13 million a year. So it's not like, foundationally they're against spending money at safety. That's why this feels like Edwards. Because remember, we don't pay linebackers, blah, 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 blah. They luck into Bond and they pay Bond. Well, this is a UDFA who's only like 27 years old. I mean, what's wrong with one more contract, 3 for 24, right when he's about 30, you walk, when he's starting to decline as a player. But, Phillips is an essential piece to what we do, but Blankenship was he was air traffic control for the back end. I mean, he put everybody in position. He made some calls, he was a top communicator on the back end, communicating with Dean or Bond. So, not only do we need a new safety and a new starting safety, but we need somebody that knows the defense well enough that they can direct traffic back there. And that's not an easy job. So you can't put that on a second-year kid who really doesn't play that role of it. He kind of plays the other side of the field.
Yeah.
So this one feels very similar to Edwards, because I don't see why Reed wouldn't have taken the same money or a little bit less to come back and play.
Well, we got somebody from the NFC East chiming in, Giants fan. What are the thoughts on Tremont Edwards?
I think he fits the scheme perfectly over there. I think he fits the scheme perfectly. I think they got him on a good deal. He's still young. He's played a lot of football because he came in the league young. High upside signing. I think he fits well over there. Just don't let him drop into coverage too much. Not too.
I was going to say he was in Chicago, right? But he's been a journeyman a little bit, right?
Yeah, I believe they picked him up in the same draft that they got Josh Allen. I think they picked both of them up in the first round that year.
But where was he before that?
He was Buffalo, so he went to Virginia Tech, then he went to Buffalo, and then he went to Chicago.
Was he a Pro Bowler in Buffalo? He was a 100-tackle guy.
Possibly. Yeah, it might have been a Pro Bowler in Chicago. But they paired up Edmonds and Edwards in that 2022 offseason. Yeah. Speaking of TJ Edwards. So, that's a Edmonds, man, that's a Giants are making smart moves right now. They backed out on Walker when the money got too high. It's funny what Harbaugh can do to a young GM.
Yeah, I forgot Harbaugh was over there.
Yeah, so they're no longer the goofy Giants anymore. They're making education.
There's still the goofy Giants. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, bro. I'm trying to think who's in that linebacker core is what I'm trying to think.
Well, they let Okereke go, so they cut Okereke. So now I believe it's probably going to be Edmonds and maybe Micah McFadden.
That's right. They run a 3-4, right?
Yeah, it should be 3-4.
Yeah, they're 3-4 because Burns and Carter and Thibodeau, all those guys are still there. I was just seeing who was in the inside linebacker. I don't know who was the inside linebacker for them. I know they got a ton of speed on the outside, but he helps shores that up. So to your point, he's a good scheme fit. He's a player. He's a vet. He's a starter, right? So he should help them solidify. And he's been over in obviously playing in an NFC, so he knows some of the teams over here. So some familiarity there as well. I wish we kept Robinson, but we're probably going to get Cornell Tate, or we. All right, now you're talking crazy. You're not going to get AJ Brown, bro. Yeah, I don't know where we're going with that. You know what I mean? We're not playing fantasy football here.
No, AJ Brown is not going to be traded to a team in the NFC, especially not the Giants.
Yeah, for sure. But going back to this, I think a lot of points you said about Reed hit spot on, and I think to even go even more, I think the bigger eye-opening thing is like what's behind him. You know what I mean? Like what's behind him. And to your point, you got one high-end, I think a second-round pick in Makuba, who played well, right? He looked like he was starting to get it, coming off of an ankle injury. And then you got a heat-seeking missile in Sidney Brown, who's got no guidance control. He just runs into everything and anything,
who Vic has shown he doesn't trust.
Yeah.
He played Marcus Epps over him. So
for sure.
Yeah. And Epps is a free agent.
All right, let's go to the third one on the list. And this one, I think, kind of hurt a lot of folks more than maybe the other two. I think he was becoming a fan favorite. I think you lose a complete leader and dog, no pun intended, or actually maybe pun intended, in the Kobe Dean. But he got paid. He got signed, especially off. Ugh, when it say limited snacks, was last year his coming out party? Or was it a year
Year
before that?
before last, the Super Bowl run was coming out party, and this past year was really solid production in limited time.
Limited time, yeah. So hopefully he can stay healthy. He'll look, he'll probably look kind of nasty in the black and silver. But 3 years, 36 million. Good for him. Third round pick, I think, right?
Yep.
Third round pick. Undersized. Gets his first kind of big deal. This one had to happen because you couldn't put another roadblock in Campbell. Campbell has to play. He's your first round pick. And you just can't put. He's got to get that growth. He's got to get that experience. And he showed flashes last year. I think his more natural spot is the inside linebacker instead of them trying to move him around outside. Just the way he played last year. I'll tell you what, he'll be great in coverage, and he'll see if he can get the run fits. A lot of them were just angles, but he was there. I mean, for the most part, he was there. And he needed to be where he had to be. Just didn't finish.
Well, yeah, and the one thing, remember, he had torn labrum surgery right before the draft. So he wasn't really able – he had to get cleared. He hasn't had an offseason of true work. So I would expect when training camp or OTAs comes around that Campbell's going to come in there looking like the dude. You know what I mean? I mean, he's going to come in looking like he's on steroids, and he's not on steroids. I'm not saying he is, but he's going to come in looking like a freak.
Yeah, I believe it.
That first 1 to 2 jump is really big for defensive players, but SEC guys typically take it to another level when all they can do is follow the regimen.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the better. It's hard to say you're getting the better talent because I think
you're getting more upside. I think that the team was it the right decision to draft Campbell in the first round? We can argue about that 5 years down the road. The question was that he was the best player available on their board. They took BPA. Dean was coming off of torn patellar tendon that usually ends careers. So the fact that he came back and has looked like he has is unheard of. He got the starting job when he got back because Fangio trusted him more than anybody else. I mean, this is, this was another one. There was just, this is more of a log jam. And I've said it a couple times. I am really having a hard time getting used to the Eagles having a plethora of off-ball linebacker talent. That is just, it's weird.
It was unheard of. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird, but good weird. But hey, it is what it is. I think his leadership will be missed most, and just the tone. He just set a different tone for the defense.
I think they need. Bond's not really that guy, and that's kind of what I was hitting at with Blankenship too. I mean, Blankenship was one of the big leaders. He was a captain last year.
Yep.
So, I think you're losing. I think the weight of the locker room with Dean and Blankenship outweighs anything Phillips could have been. Obviously, Phillips was the big name edge rusher you want. Gets paid a lot of money. Dean was a logjam at a position. We could justify everything except this Blankenship deal. That's about the only thing that we could sit here and really, have a conversation about. Everything else is just, it was bound to happen.
Okay. So we just went through the big three, and we'll get to the last one that could be a needle mover if you look at it the right way. Let me put it up here. In your opinion, let me see. How do I want to phrase this? In your opinion, who was the biggest loss?
I'm going to say Blankenship, as of right now. If Goddard finds a way out of here, I'd probably put him. But I'm going to start off. It would be it'd be Blankenship. Like every other position has a plan, right? Because Jalix Hunt is an ascending player. Smith wasn't healthy, but he came on at the end of 2024. He was even the best pass rusher on the Super Bowl team. Sweat had a shot there towards the end. Smith was the best.
Yeah.
At off-ball linebacker, like we just said, I mean, you're going to start off the season without adding a single player. As of today, we stand with Zach Bond starting, Campbell next to him. Your first guy off the bench is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Smile Mondon played really well on special teams last year. And then they've got a kid named Chance Campbell that they're pretty high on that apparently was pretty solid on the scout team. I think that was the one Saquon Barkley referred to as the best scout team player he's ever played against. So
I think I remember that, yeah.
They're good there. But at safety, I mean, even including futures contracts, they only have 4 safeties under contract right now, and that is Andrew Makuba, Sidney Brown, Andre Sam, and Brandon Johnson. And Sam and Johnson are simply developmental players. They're not going to play. So
who's that? The other kid from Georgia, right? Sam
which
L?
one?
Did you say Sam L? Was it S?
No. Andre Sam. He was
Sam. Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that works out with Gardner Johnson and all those dudes. I can't remember the trainer, that DB trainer that works all them out, but he was the Louisiana Lafayette transfer to LSU. We got him as a UDFA. He's been here for a couple years in the program, but he's played in some games, but that's not. He's not here to be the next Blankenship. You know what I mean? Blankenship was a UDFA that ended up getting on the field. I don't know if you guys remember. He picked off Aaron Rodgers, I think, in his 3rd snap in the NFL. So, the Blankenship TJ Edwards comparison, I think, is pretty spot on there. And I think we remember what happened when Edwards walked. That was 2023. That was Zach Cunningham, Nick Morrow, Miles Jack for 3 days. I mean, it was bad. So. I think the wide receiver thing, like even just to drop this on that, you still have a Devontae Smith. You don't have a Devontae Smith at safety. And you're talking about one of the most important positions in this style of defense. You've got to have a really, really good safety. And at least a guy that knows where everybody needs to be and can, like you said with Reed, he's not the biggest, fastest, strongest, but he's always in the right spot.
Yeah, I think it's pretty telling and pretty evident that you would pick the white guy. So it's cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had a chance. We had a chance to sign a corner. I love seeing it. We could have signed a corner. We moved Coop to safety to save money in the long run because we don't want to pay him the McDuffie deal. We have 2 starting white safeties, one of which Howie referred to as the most elite talent on the entire team. He was like, we could put, I believe Cooper could be out there and play quarterback. He's just good. I mean, he's a stud. So, I mean, to break up the exciting whites like that is just, without a plan. That's just the thing that, is just.
That's a pity.
And I thought I was going to see 3. I thought I was going to see the number for Dean, the 3 for 36. That's what I thought Blankenship was going to get from Dallas. I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to pay him. Christian Parker wants his guy. He wants somebody to come in. Because, and Nate, you can attest to this. There's so many different coordinator changes this year. You need translators. And sometimes a guy is simply on the roster making a good amount of money as a veteran to just translate the system because it's all about verbiage. It's all about language. Sirianni hinted at this. Is Shanahan McVay that different from a Tony Dungy, Mike Martz style offense? No, it's not that different. It's just things are called different things. And so you have to get that down packed. Yeah. And then what's the answer? Oh, we could just draft a safety in the 1st round. You want a rookie and a 2nd-year guy running a Fangio defense? I don't think Vic wants that. I mean, he put in Epps over the 3rd-round pick. Played Epps because he knew where to be.
Yeah, Reed was too slow. Need someone faster. Not necessarily. Reed did his job, and believe it or not, instinct to make up for that. Because if I'm not mistaken, since he's been with the Eagles, and you can double check me on this one, bro, I think he's led them in picks. He's underrated.
He has 9 picks in his career.
Yeah, like he's underrated as a little bit of a ball hawk. He's not the ball hawk as what we think of getting double-digit picks or.
Well, he's not what Gardner Johnson was.
He's not Gardner Johnson, but he's underrated with his INTs. He's underrated from a turnover standpoint.
Let me give you the best difference between those 2 players because they're both exciting, right? And no pun intended there, but Gardner Johnson is going to Gardner Johnson's going to make jumps on the ball that are unwarranted. Blankenship's going to go for the tackle. Gardner Johnson's going to get beat by going for the big play. Blankenship is just right place, right time, getting the kind of interception. And that's sometimes there's some people that just have a knack for the football. And I think Makuba has a bit of it. I thought he played well and he came on there.
No, he did play well.
But again, that's not. In this defense, the way that we do things, that's a lot to put on his plate for year 2 coming off a broken ankle.
Yeah, and to your point, you're spot on, right? 9 picks in 4 years. That's not too bad.
For an undrafted free agent?
For an undrafted free agent, it's not too bad.
So people know he signed for $60,000 when he signed with the team. He got a $5,000 signing bonus and a $55,000 base salary to go into OTAs and made the roster. I mean, to see him paid like this is awesome.
I think to me, I think it's easy to go kind of Dean just the way he was a leader, but I'm actually going to go Phillips, even though we weren't going to pay Phillips that type of money. I'm actually going to go Jaelen Phillips because I don't think there's any like now you're back to the problem I've always had with the Philadelphia Eagles over the
Well, this
next
time
couple of
last
years.
year,
Yeah,
you
like
were
they have
pounding the table.
no
You have been pounding this table for a premier edge rusher for 2 years, even
forever.
during the
Yeah,
Super Bowl run. You've
yeah,
been
they have
pounding the table. They need
no
a
depth
number
pass
one.
rush. They need a number one, and I like Hunt. I like his upside. I think he can get hot and cold, and I think what I saw from him last year is that, especially the way they're going to probably use him, he's a multifaceted player. He's not just going to go get the quarterback. They're going to
No,
move him around. He's going to
no.
be in coverage, and he thrived a little bit because he had one touchdown. I think he had one touchdown and two picks, maybe
Something
three.
like that. There at the end,
Yeah,
I mean, what did he have? 5.5 sacks, a forced fumble, a pick six. I mean,
yeah. He's a disruptor. He's a disruptor.
yeah.
So, but he's a disruptor in multiple ways. So he's not a go. I don't know. I don't want to put a ceiling on him. He could be a double-digit sack guy, but I don't think he's going to be a double-digit sack guy. Get you 2 or 3 picks, then take one to the house. Multiple. I mean, we're talking about like T.J. Watt type
Well, yeah.
production.
But I
Like,
think
I don't
that
think
his
he's that.
utilization is what you're getting at, though, is he Micah Parsons? No. And that's a bad name to use, but they use him in the way that people want us to use Campbell. And that's not who Campbell is.
6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 3 picks, and a tutty. That ain't bad for a second-year player.
That's not bad at all.
From St. Baptist, John St. Baptist School, right?
The guy, the way that he's come on, Smith's durability is his question. When he plays, he produces, but it's the durability. Can you actually do it? And I think we could both say that maybe if a guy like Phillips was there week 1 and they would have bit the bullet on one of those guys, maybe we don't rush him to play off that torn bicep. Maybe he waits a couple weeks, and comes back actually healthy and doesn't re-tear the bicep.
You're talking about somebody going to come back looking like he on more steroids. Jesus.
Oh, Smith is going to come.
He's got to.
Well,
is this year 5? Is this contract year?
Year 4, yeah. Him and Carter are going into they were same draft, so they're going into their
fourth year.
Yeah.
Okay, 4th year. Okay.
But they're, those two, Carter aside, with Smith, I think that, like you hinted at earlier, they want him to take the same way that Davis has done and was rewarded for. That's what they want.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were in on Phillips as strong as they were shows that they are admitting to you that they know that they need one more guy, that they don't have that mold that they need to complement those two. Because I think that, what we're kind of hinting at is when you have a guy like Phillips, it allows Hunt and Smith to just go eat. And when they can just go eat, and you can send Smith at the quarterback and you can send Hunt to do all his little, maybe drop into coverage, do whatever he's doing, it makes the defense a lot more versatile. It makes the defense more lethal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And to me, that's why it's the biggest, looking at this upcoming cycle for a draft, what would you put as their top target round 1?
Well, I think their entire future is still contingent on what they do with, Brown. If they decide to move off Brown, then ideally, if there's a receiver there around there, or they can go up and get one, then that would be the way to handle it.
Breaking news right now. I think I'm on board with trading Brown. I think, and the only reason why I think I'm okay with trading Brown now has nothing to do with AJ Brown doing all his other, whatever people think. I'm still Team AJ all day. I still don't think this team makes it to the playoffs if AJ Brown's not on this team. But if we're going to lean into this rebuild per se, kind of almost, right?
They don't. That word's not allowed in that
building. Retool.
There you go.
Retool a bit, and we have to pay Carter. We're gonna back up the Brinks truck. Cooper, we're gonna back up the Brinks truck. Mitchell, we're gonna back up the truck. Then we need draft capital because we just can't pay them all. And those three guys are part of your core on defense. And I'm okay with paying people on defense and having draft and maybe not high end talent, but just enough talent on offense to be, to be competitive
Well,
offensively.
also, if AJ's gone, they're going to pay Devontae more money.
Yeah.
That's just given. So expect that if AJ is moved, then Devontae is going to get a pay raise. Just there would be no reason not to.
Give me. I think quote talk is they dropped the asking price or they are okay with next year's first round pick versus this year's first round pick is from what I've heard. I don't know.
They would
how true it is.
rather have future assets no matter what.
Right.
They already have 4 picks in the top 100 this year. They're not really looking at pick 31 as a first round pick.
Okay, agreed.
They are valuing 2027 and 2028 assets more than they're valuing current 2026 assets.
Yeah.
So it's always been New England. It's that's the song and dance here. New England does not want to bend the knee to Howie in what he wants, which is a 1 and a 2. I think a 1 and a 3 probably gets it done.
I heard that was the rumor, but the Eagles turned it down.
Well, nobody's made an offer yet. So Diana Rossini there has not been a formal offer yet. But the way it works is New England calls, they say, what's the price? Howie's always going to start here because you're only going to work your way down. Anytime you sell something on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, you start high, you work your way low. But this idea that they're willing to move forward with him, I just don't get that sense anymore. I think that both sides are ready to move on. And I think that the Eagles just want to get what they're, again, probably the best wide receiver in Eagles history. They want to get their worth out of that player.
Yeah, I agree.
But the other side of it, like I hinted at the beginning of the show, there's $113 million that Jeffrey Lurie can save in cash by moving A.J. Brown now. And New England then pays that money. We take our dead cap hit. Take your punches, keep it moving, and that's going to set up what they do in the draft.
And it's doable because if you look at Tua, right? I mean, if you look at Russell Wilson, but Tua, I mean, they're spreading out $100 million dead cap hit over 2 years. Miami. So it's not unheard of. Part of me is still not trade AJ because I think AJ makes Jaelen the elite conversation that he's in. Without AJ, I think Jaelen falls down. I think the whole offense falls down. And I think we see how much A.J. Brown meant to this team and specifically Jalen Hurts' success. But without A.J. and now without Jahan Dotson, right? He signed 15 years, 2 years, $15 million, which I think is an underrated move to let Dotson walk, even though I do like Cooper. He gets his first shot as wide receiver 3 as long as AJ's on the team. But if AJ's not on the team, Dotson's not on the team, man, this receiving core looks slim and thin.
It does. Dotson was never going to come back. That was never going to happen. I did see that the Falcons are very excited about Dotson. They think that he's got a lot more left in the tank and can be, a pretty good complementary weapon there next to Drake London. And now he'll be the 2. Alameda Zaccheaus is back over there, former Eagle. He'll be the 3. Dotson just, the offense as of late. Now I don't know what this new one's going to look like. We'll see. But the offense as of late has been a cardio workout for the wide receiver 3. And Dotson's not really a take the top off the defense kind of player. Whereas Quez Watkins kind of fit that mold more. Dotson's not really that guy. He kind of clashes in between of what Smith is and what Brown is. I thought initially when they made the move, I thought it was the right direction to go in. I was like, all right, this makes sense. You know what I mean? I could see them, why they did it. But the ammo that they gave up for Dotson and the return they got out of Dotson, people talk about how great Howie is. This was a blunder on his end. I mean, this one didn't work out.
Yeah. I would not trade him. If so, who do you think we can have? And I'm assuming you talk about my AJ Brown talk. I mean, it's going to be just draft capital, right? If we trade him, and then we're going to just find, we'll let Howie do his magic in the draft. Whether he moves up, he stays pat. This cycle, from what I've seen so far, um, defense of line is super deep in this draft class. I think receiver has some depth to it as well. Haven't really looked at the O lineman, but there's some top tier O linemen in the top tier. I don't know how deep that class goes, and that's all I got so far. I haven't done enough, and we'll get more. If you like draft talk, Ernie B's. This is his season. Like, this is Christmas time for him. So this will be the second time me and him will run through the cycle. So we'll get into that. So if you like a lot of that talk, you like draft, you like this season, you like this part of football, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, come on and follow us, and come on to the money team. But it'll be draft capital. It won't be a player. It could be a player, but not from New England, because that's all right. That's there, right? Buffalo got their guy from Chicago. Well, not their guy, but they got a quote unquote number one receiver. Pierce went back to the Colts.
Yep.
Right. Who else was out there? Kind of.
Mike Evans was really the last big receiver name.
Yeah,
that was kind of rumored to be available. I mean, as of right now, with the Patriots not landing Alec Pierce,
yeah.
I mean,
and then they got rid of Diggs. They released Diggs, so they're thin at receiver.
Yeah, this worked out about as solid for Howie Roseman as it could, and sort of trying to get the most out of New England. Which I don't really understand what the hesitation is. If I was New England, I would just move on it. Your window's now. You have a rookie, quarterback on a rookie deal. You just made the Super Bowl. If Diggs was able to give you 1,000 yards and boost you up, what would AJ Brown do? I mean, and he wants to play there. He grew up a fan of the team. I mean, I don't really see why they wouldn't just cough up what the Eagles want. Obviously, they need to come to an agreement. But the scare from New England side is they know that their first round pick this year is pick 31. So people realize that that's valued in the trade charts as a second round pick. So in the Eagles' value, that would be, let's say, if they traded him a 1 and a 2 this year, that's almost 2 2s, and that's not enough to get the job done. The problem is next year, if New England, let's say they do trade for AJ Brown and he gets injured or misses a large part of the season, they get bounced in the first round. That's not pick 31 now; it's pick 19 or 18, something like that. So the value there, it can change so much. The reason the Eagles want future picks is A, the 2020 a lot stronger than the 2026 class. B, Roseman has the freedom to do this because he has the best job security in the league. So he can acquire future assets. Like this year, our extra third round pick is from Hassan Reddick, and that's just coming up in this draft. So it goes to show that in the past, Howie's always been willing to take on future assets as opposed to current draft capital, just to kind of spread out all of his winnings and things.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So I think, we'll see. But I am now, B Be Humble. I love this one. Now switching sides, jumping the fence, and I'm actually kind of I think I got on the train to trade AJ Brown just because I see how things are moving and how many how many players we need to play, right? Because you can't let those through. There's so much BS talk out there about trading Jalen Carter. You do not trade Jalen Carter. You know what I mean? Unless it's unreal, like 3 first round, like something unheard of. I don't care. I'm not giving up 2 first round picks for him because he's a generational talent. Like, you got to understand, Carter is a generational talent.
And let's remember the rumors were they received trade calls on Jalen Carter. Yeah, it wasn't Jalen Carter's up for trade. It's a team being like, well, if you're trading AJ Brown, what's the price on Jalen Carter? Yeah. And Howie's going to say, what do you got? I mean, because again, like you said, if you blow the doors off, we'll give you 2 first round picks and a player or whatever it may be, maybe more than Crosby. You do that, man. I mean, you don't, at the end of the day, it's a business. But right now they are trying to negotiate with Jalen Carter. That's per John Clark of NBC Sports Philly. So they are trying to negotiate with him right now. he's represented by Drew Rosenhaus, one of the best agents of all time. And Drew makes sure that the Brinks truck is backed up to the building for players like this.
And I think we talked about this. You said 40 million, right?
I think it's right now you're looking like 34 and a half, 35, somewhere around there. Because it's got to be more than Chris Jones. And it's just, I said it could be up to 40, but he didn't play well last year. So I think the Eagles would like to get it done now because he didn't come off. If he would have gone all pro and done, not been hurt, didn't have the PRP injections and all that, then I think we could have been talking about a crazy number. But I think we're looking, somewhere around 35 million a year, but it's a lot.
It's gonna be up there. It's gonna be up there. Well, somebody else who got paid a lot, but earned it. Big fella.
Yes, sir.
Jordan Davis gets extended, 78 million, 3 years, become the highest paid nose tackle in the game. Well deserved. He put in the work, and I think when you hear him speak, he's starting to become the leader of that defense.
Yeah, this is the new. Man. He's the new Brandon Graham. This is the locker room guy. This is the This is your good vibes guy. This is the guy that just keeps everybody up, keeps everybody together.
Always smiling, always happy.
Oh yeah. The media loves him. He's big in the city. He beat the bust label, which for a nose tackle is hard to.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it takes time.
Ridiculous. But not even that. Like he's just not. He was never built to be the pass rusher that people wanted. He's not that, and he's still not that.
No.
He's still not that.
No, he's not.
You know what I mean?
That's why
not going to be that guy.
The pairing of Davis and Carter is about unstoppable. But when you single them out individually, talk about moving one or the other, it's kind of like, I don't, that's. I kind of need them together. That's the package. That's what I'm buying in on.
Yeah, I agree. Again, well deserved. I think he still has more room to go, and it's not really just from a passing standpoint. I think he can be more disruptive, right? I think he can be more disruptive, and it's not just the passing game. Like he could be a clog, where you think twice about running on either A gap or even B gaps, because he just takes up so much space and he requires so much attention that you have to run around him. And even if you get him moving, he's so goddamn fast. Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And he can chase things down. So again, I think if he keeps going on the way he's going, keeps continuing to transform his body the way he needs to be in the sustain, I think he's got many years ahead of him. And the one thing is great. I think this extension doesn't kick in till the following year, right? So next year we'll be on the regular.
Yes, they worked the 5th-year option. This is done the same way that Devontae Smith's was done. We talked about this on the show a couple times. Yeah. They worked the 5th-year extension into it to lower cap hits, add a bunch of void years. The $26 million annual is for the player to say that he is the highest paid player. But the way that they paid him and the way that they structured it is he's one of the foundational pieces. So if 2-3 years down the road that there's Jordan Davis trade talk, it's going to come with a F ton of dead cap the same way that we're dealing with A.J. Brown right now.
Agreed.
When they sign their foundational pieces, like that, and they give them those style contracts, your Hurtses, your Lane Johnsons, your Jason Kelsey's, your Fletcher Cox's back in the day, you're doing that with the idea that, they're lifers, that they're going to finish their career here.
Agreed. And then some small housekeeping, but important housekeeping. Mr. Carter, Michael Carter II, restructured his deal. He was a $10 million cap hit, lowered that to $3 million. Do you know where we are in terms of open cap right now, just to give people out there some sense of how we
somewhere around 26 million, somewhere around that. But I don't know if they can free up any more. So Davis freed up a little bit of money by getting his deal done. Carter freed up a little money. Those were the only two immediate transactions that could be made that moved some money around. So they've got a little bit. What's interesting about Carter here, just to give a little tidbit on him, there was a lot of talk that Fangio, was kind of iffy on him when he first got on the team, but then, once he was with the program for a while, he just trusted him in practice in these weird situations. And I was told that they did some like 4 cornerback dime structure with Carter playing that kind of man coverage over the middle that allowed him and DeJean to kind of switch off a little, which is cool. I don't think that that's like a way to look at us in base or anything, but I think he offers a look for them. The way that I would compare this is about exactly what they did with Avonte Maddox a couple years ago. He's a good backup nickel, good backup safety. He can play both positions. Let's get him here on a vet men. He's good for the locker room. He knows the system, whatever.
And Brian Biding, 35-36 has said we're broke. And I don't think so. But I'll just put another comment. Yeah, I'll just put a comment in there. And, we'll end on this one because I think this one kind of came to play because we wrote this player off. You just talked about $26 million, which I think is probably where this guy's number, not as high, but around, can use a lot of this. Did they re-sign Dallas Goedert at this point?
From what I understand, he's testing the market. So he's going to see what his value is for the very first time. He's going to freely talk to teams, kind of see if he can get signed. I really thought the Chargers would sign him. They opted for Charlie Kolar, former Ravens. So, yeah, the Goddard situation's weird because they had him take a pay cut last year from like 14.5 to 10. So they took $4 million out of his pocket and then told him, prove us wrong. And he broke the tight end touchdown record for the Eagles. So,
love it how that happens. I told her, I said, as soon as they did that, I was like, he's going to play every goddamn game. Wow.
Yeah, for the first time. Time. He's going to go out there and be a stud. Career high catches, career high in touchdowns, breaks the record, it was, of course. So I think with Kelsey getting 15, I think somewhere around there is where he needs to be.
I think that's where he needs to be. I think he's probably looking for top 3.
Probably a little bit more. But I think if you're Philly.
Is Kittle 20? Is Kittle the highest paid tight end, right?
Something like that, yeah. I think McBride might have passed that.
Okay.
McBride got paid too.
He did. Trey McBride.
Andrews got a really good contract recently too before free agency, so the Ravens kind of locked him up. Yeah. It's Dallas is funny, man. I think that, I hate to have this black cloud over us, but with A.J. Brown's situation looming just financially, I think that they'd love to offer Goddard $15 million right now, and I think that might be what we're talking about with Blankenship. They might have really wanted to pay him that money, but until they figure that situation out, they can't really do their books. So until their books are straight, they're kind of playing with these weird mythical numbers, and I think it's just tough. I think it really is just tough. So Goddard's one I thought would be done. I'm surprised that we just got through an hour-long show and did not have a single fart of information outside of the fact that Nakobe Dean totally chose the Raiders over the Cowboys, which I love.
This is what we do, man. This is what we do. Come on, man.
I love to hear. But the memes going on around right now on Twitter are awesome. It's, damn, these boys are really choosing the Raiders over the Cowboys these days. That's crazy.
Yeah. What we do, man. We come up here and we talk our stuff. We give people good information and we give our opinions that might be with the crowd or typically against the crowd. And that's what it's about, man. About winning Monday, every Monday here on Victory Monday. So that is the show. Thanks everybody who joined and watched. Again, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow, support the team, please. We would love for you guys to keep following, keep listening, keep hitting those comments because we love the engagement. Next week we will start getting into the thick of it, man. To be honest, with the cycle, free agency, another round of free agents always there. I think Howie likes to pick some of those pickings. So hopefully we have some more Eagle news. If not, it's time to get into the draft. So again, if you like that type of talk, man, come on, take the journey with us. I'm Moss Money. That's Ernie B. This is Victory Mondays. We will see you guys next week.